I let my stepfather think he was inheriting my mother's house, until he found out she left it all to me. My mother passed away 3 months ago, and I've been dealing with the aftermath ever since. She had been married to my stepfather for about 8 years, and honestly, I never really warmed up to the guy. There was something about him that always felt off, like he was putting on a performance whenever I was around. He would get overly friendly, asking about my work and my personal life in a way that felt intrusive rather than caring. When Mom got sick last year, he became even more attentive, but not in the way you'd expect from a loving husband. Instead of focusing on her comfort and well-being, he kept making comments about finances and what would happen after she was gone. He'd mention things like how expensive her medical treatments were and how they were draining their savings. The whole thing made me uncomfortable, but Mom seemed to appreciate his presence, so I kept my mouth shut. The house had been in our family for over 30 years. My parents bought it when I was just a kid, and it was where I grew up. After Dad died when I was in college, Mom stayed there alone for several years before she met my stepfather. The place held so many memories for me, and I always assumed it would stay in the family somehow. My stepfather moved in about 6 months after they got married, and he immediately started making changes to the place. He painted over the wallpaper in the kitchen that Mom had picked out years ago, replaced the old wooden fence in the backyard with some cheap vinyl thing, and even got rid of some of the furniture that had been there since I was a child. Every time I visited, something else was different. When I mentioned it to Mom, she just shrugged and said he was trying to make the place feel more like home for both of them. During her final weeks, my stepfather's behavior became increasingly strange. He would hover around whenever the lawyer came to visit, and I caught him going through Mom's papers several times. When I confronted him about it, he claimed he was just trying to organize everything to make things easier for her. He kept talking about how much work it was going to be to settle her affairs, and how he was prepared to handle everything. The reading of the will was scheduled for 2 weeks after the funeral. My stepfather seemed unusually confident leading up to it, making comments about how he needed to decide what to do with the house, and whether he wanted to stay there or sell it. He even mentioned that he might want to downsize to something smaller and use the money from the sale to travel. The casual way he talked about it made my blood boil, but I figured there wasn't much I could do about it. On the day of the reading, we sat in the lawyer's office with a few other family members. My stepfather had this smug look on his face, like he already knew what was coming. The lawyer started reading through the various bequests, and my stepfather nodded along as if he was mentally calculating his inheritance. When she got to the part about the house, his expression was one of complete anticipation. The lawyer cleared her throat and read the relevant section carefully. My mother had left the house entirely to me, along with most of her other assets.